it's funny because after the Knicks drafted Obi Toppin, a lot of people didn't like the draft pick, and I was looking at the draft, and I know everybody was looking at the Knicks trying to find that the Knicks were, the weakness of the New York Knicks is the point guard position.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last couple of years, drafting Frank Ntilikina and then making, some moves in trades. These point guards really didn't work out for the New York Knicks. Free agency just hasn't worked out. So a lot of people thought, the Knicks are going to go after a point guard in the draft. Before the draft, in my eyes, the Knicks needed to go after one and one player only, and that was Obi Toppin. And when the Knicks went from 27 to 23, I had a feeling that the Knicks were going to do anything in their possible ability to move up if they had to go after Obi Toppin. There were rumors coming out at one point of the day that the Knicks were trying to make a trade with the Golden State Warriors to move up at 2, not to go after Wiseman, but to go after Obi Toppin. So I think that a lot of Knicks fans just need to sit back, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the Knicks in the last couple of years, they just haven't drafted well. They drafted Kristaps Porzingis, and then they wound up trading him. And look, Kristaps can't stay healthy. Again, a knee injury, could miss half the season going into the season this year. So I think when you look at the draft, it wasn't – a lot of people say this wasn't a depthful draft. It wasn't a lot of great players. It was very top-heavy.
Right.
But whenever they say that, the draft turns out to be a very good draft. So I think that when you look at the Knicks position and what they did, you're absolutely right, Ryan. This was a completely different Knicks team. Have you ever seen the Knicks do, make moves, trade down, trade up, get more assets, and then trade out a bit to get more assets in the future? We have not seen the Knicks do this in a very, very long time.
And not only that, Errol, they did it without taking on insanely bad contracts or insanely old players. Like they wheeled and dealed to trade up in the first round, trade up in the second round, and did so by swapping extra picks they had, and again, not just batting themselves down with bad contracts on older players. They actually, it seemed for the first time in a long time, knew what they were doing, had their picks, like you said, didn't trade the farm to get Obi Toppin, just kind of played it out, waited it out, and it worked out in the end. Something actually went right for once for the New York Knicks, and they did it themselves. It's great to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see.
Yeah, and they got the two players they were gunning for. If you really look at it, Obi Toppin was their number one guy on their board. Out of all the guys, everybody thought it was LaMelo Ball. They were going to move up for LaMelo Ball. They had no interest in LaMelo Ball. Everybody thought, hey, they got to go after Wiseman. Wiseman's the most talented player, and a lot of people thought in this draft. They didn't go after him. They were gunning for Obi Toppin, and they were gunning for quickly the kid from Kentucky, the three-point shooter, the guy that's going to spread the floor. A lot of people, even Speedy, I was sitting there watching the draft with Speedy, and it's like, I didn't like the pick. And I said, how could you not like the pick when the Knicks haven't had a wing that can shoot in such a long time? And you heard John Calipari yesterday. He says he's going to spread the floor for the New York Knicks. So in thought of what the Knicks are trying to do and what the Knicks are looking at, they are slowly but surely looking like a real organization. So I think that the draft was very interesting. Chicago was really reaching at number 4. I was with Williams. I was very surprised they went with him. I also was very surprised that Michael Jordan drafted LaMelo Ball. Over the last couple of years, LeVar Ball has come out and said that Michael Jordan, he feels, is not the greatest basketball player of all time.
Right.
And that he has said that one-on-one, any one of his sons in the prime of his career could have beaten Michael Jordan. So I think and even himself. So I think that, the fact that his son went to Michael Jordan's team, that his son's going to be playing on Michael Jordan's team is just, to me, it's like a world round. You know what I mean? It's like the planets are colliding. So
let me ask you this, right? So obviously, especially in The Last Dance, we really got a sneak peek behind Michael Jordan, just what makes him go, right? He'll take the smallest slights, he'll make up slights, and just like his entire life, it feels like, is based on revenge, right? Getting you back for whatever you did. What do you think? Because I saw this a lot on social media, so I hope it's true. Do you think there's anything behind Michael Jordan drafting LaMelo Ball in order to get him in the practice gym, get LeVar Ball in the practice gym, and set it forward, set it straight. Hey, you want to talk smack, that's okay, but here we're playing right now. And then I'm going to tell everyone, when I beat you 11-0, 21-1, whatever it is, you think he's trying to get his revenge. Maybe, we won't say sabotage LaMelo's career, but let's just say get a chance to actually get LaMar Ball in the gym and just take him to town.
I honestly don't think that was the reason why he drafted LaMelo Ball. I really don't. I think Michael Jordan knows in his heart, putting on a blindfold, he can kick the you-know-what out of LaVar Ball.
Totally.
I don't really think he has.
But he also didn't need to make up half the stories that he did to play against some, bad players. But he does it. Like, he's just one of those guys that just thrives and lives for revenge. LaVar Ball went out of his way to talk smack, like you said. Oh, my sons will beat him. I'll beat him one-on-one. This guy's not that good. You don't think that's just you don't think Michael Jordan has that plastered somewhere in his estate, maybe in his bedroom on his ceiling? There's just LaVar Ball quotes. I'll beat this guy one-on-one. He was not that good, and he was just waiting for the day because he knew it was going to come. Just waiting, seething for a chance to get some revenge. I don't know. It's not as crazy, I feel like, as it could be.
It's funny because Michael Jordan, like you said, has done things like this before. With B.J. Armstrong, when he retired, he used to play. Used to go and practice with B.J. Armstrong and telling him that he misses the game of basketball, and that B.J. kind of talked him into coming to practices and coming to play with the team, and then it kind of swayed him to come back and win a couple more championships with the Chicago Bulls and make the dynasty even more stronger than anybody would have expected. I think in Michael Jordan's heart, he believes that LaMelo Ball was the best player on the board, and he was arguably the best player in this year's draft. I think that Michael Jordan, in the transition of what he thinks this team is going to be, he needs a superstar. And really, let's be honest, Kemba Walker, the fact that he let him go, I believe was a big mistake. But I believe LaMelo Ball is going to be better than Kemba Walker. I think LaMelo Ball could be arguably one of the best point guards in the NBA with his size, his ability, his athletic ability. Once he works on his shot a little bit more and is a little bit more consistent, instead of shooting 29-30% at the three-point line, if he can figure that out, I do believe that Michael Jordan believes that he was the best player in the draft, and he can change not only the Charlotte Hornets future, but absolutely put the Charlotte Hornets back on the map as an organization in the NBA.
It's interesting. I'm hoping, honestly, I would love to hear that, the main, again, LaMelo Ball, very good player. I hope, too, part of the motivation was, let's get this guy in here, let's play LaVar Ball, and then let's let the entire world know how it went. I think we all know how it would go. Any other surprise, Errol, in your mind, watching from yesterday, first round, second round? You like how, or anything else crazy in your mind stand out?
It's so interesting because, a lot of people, everybody thinks they know that this guy's going to be good. And you go through all social media. This is why I hate social media. And even though once in a blue moon I'll go on my Twitter, and I'm surprised I have over 1,000 people that follow me on Twitter now. I don't know how, but when I do go on Twitter, when I do go on these different platforms, a lot of people are predicting and contrasting what's going to be a good pick, what's going to be. I mean, you should hear there were a load of Knicks fans that were very happy with Obi Toppin, a load of them, including yours truly. I think Obi Toppin could be the best player in this draft, even though he's 22 years old, probably the oldest player going into this draft. Being that I believe he's a New Yorker, he wanted to be here. I think he can transition the game. But I'm reading some of these things that people are saying about some of the picks. You can never understand or know what these players are going to be until they start to develop. Donovan Mitchell a couple of years ago, which the Knicks wanted to draft, they decided to pass up on because a.k.a. Phil Jackson thought Frank Ntilikina would fit his triangle offense. Boy, oh boy, the Knicks are biting their tongue right now. They're biting their tongue. I love this Israeli kid. I really do. And he obviously was drafted by Washington. I was very surprised he fell to the 9th pick because I thought he was a top 5, top 3 pick. A lot of people compare his skills to Luka Doncic. He's a better rebounder than Luka Doncic. He's got to work a little bit on his three-point shot, but he's still one of the youngest players in this draft. I hope Obi Toppin is the guy, but I thought it was crazy how this Israeli kid Deni fell all the way from possibly a top 4, top 3 pick, all the way to number 9. I think Washington got a steal. I think Washington could have gotten the best player in this draft. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player in the NBA. So that was the thing that really stood out to me. That was the play that really stood out to me, falling all the way to 9, and Chicago drafting Williams at number 4. That made no sense.
Yeah, that definitely was very interesting. Errol, I just want to ask you this before we get out of here. So earlier, or did you see the report? Now again, it was a false report, but did you see the initial report yesterday of what came out of Giants camp or Giants practice with Mark Colombo and Joe Judge allegedly, again, being falsely reported, but allegedly came to blows in an actual fist fight in practice yesterday? Did you see that report?
Yes, I did. I talked about it on my show, and I thought it really existed. I thought the fight really happened. There was an argument. I do believe there was an argument, not a fist fight. 2 or 3 weeks ago, Joe Judge decided to take over the reins of the offensive line.
Right.
As you can see, the offensive line has looked a lot better since he's taken over.
Yes.
Jason Colombo is Jason Garrett's guy. I won't be surprised if you hear in the next couple of weeks or at the end of this year, that the Giants are going to fire Jason Garrett because obviously he doesn't fit in the mold of Joe Judge. I love Joe Judge. Okay, I didn't think that he was the right fit for the New York Giants in the beginning because I thought Matt Rule was the guy, and I think Matt Rule is going to be a sensational coach in the NFL. But the fact that this guy is gritty, he doesn't hold back. He took a shot at the press conference last week. After the Giants game. He just, to me, he fits the mold of a New Yorker, a Tom Coughlin, a.k.a. Bill Belichick mold. I think the guy doesn't hold back on what he feels and what he believes, and if he feels right away that guy isn't the right guy for the job, you saw it. He'll fire him. I think the Giants have the right guy in position. I really do. As a Jet fan and looking in a different, as an analyst and as a broadcaster, looking at it in a different way, not just as a fan, but as a projective guy when it comes to looking for a coach that's going to fit the mold of your organization. Joe Judge is 110% the perfect guy for the New York Giants organization moving forward. I think it's an interesting story. I think they're trying to. I think a lot of the press is trying to take the stories away from the New York Jets because the Jets are a complete.
Let me ask you this, Errol. If there was in that vein, right? So I'm with you. I don't think the fight happened. But if there was a fight to happen, which NFL head coach are you least wanting to fight?
Honestly. What I've heard about this particular coach, even though he's an old guy, I wouldn't want to mess with him, and that's Bruce Arians. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, I heard some stories over the years in Pittsburgh. I've heard some stories when he was in Arizona with some of the players. I think he's a player's coach, but you do not want to cross him, and I think he's one of those guys. You can see he doesn't take any bull you know what from anybody. So I would say out of all of them, I know a lot of people are going to go with the younger, the bigger, the stronger coach. I mean, Jon Gruden is another guy that really stands out to me.
Jon Gruden, are you kidding me? If Jon Gruden was in a dark alley, I am welcoming that fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a big guy. He's one of the few guys like, all right, you know what? I actually like my chances. Jon Gruden. Come on, Errol.
I think it's Bruce. I'm just telling you what people say about Jon Gruden. Did you hear about over the week? I forget what came out. Jon Gruden bugged out at somebody. I mean, Jon Gruden is one of those guys that he can flip the switch with Jon Gruden. I think that I know a lot of people are going to say Bill Belichick or they're going to say somebody. You're not going to say Kyle Shanahan. Look at he's
Kyle Shanahan mentally. I'm telling you, mentality-wise, I'm not fighting Kyle Shanahan. He's one of those guys he's not going to give up. Look how hard this 49ers team stinks, right? They have injuries out the wazoo. They're one quarterback injury away from me and you being under center. This guy is still game planning his butt off in order just to try to go 8-8. That's the ultimate ceiling. He is desperate to do whatever he can to go 8-8. He doesn't give up. So you know what? That gets me nervous. If we're in a fight, you can punch this guy in the face 10, 20, 30 times. He's going to keep on coming back, and that gets me nervous. The longer the fight goes, I don't like my chances.